Hey there. Since they started releasing some of the goodies that you got for kickstarting the spiritual successor to Torment, I've been playing Torment like crazy, so I figured why not record a little bit of it. I don't expect a ton of views, and I haven't changed the resolution over, so it's still in the original 800 by 600, so I'm not really sure how good it's going to look on YouTube when I render it out. So forgive me if it's tons of black space, but that's how I like to play it because that's how I remember it looking when I was a kid. If you don't know what Planescape Torment is, it's pretty much the greatest RPG ever made. So I'll play through it. I'm gonna read a lot of it just because I love this game and I want to share it and how and especially share how well written it is. And I'm also going to show the starting cinematic so that it gives a little bit of that atmosphere of playing it for the first time in case you haven't. And I'll also share some of my memories about getting the game too here. So I first got Planescape Torment in 1999. I was at the store, I was in 6th grade, and I was wandering around in the store with my mom, and she noticed the Black Isle emblem on the box because she knew I was a big RPG fan. And she said, "Well, that one looks pretty weird, but do you want it?" And it was on sale. It didn't sell particularly well in this town, so I guess they were just trying to get rid of it. And that introduced me to philosophy and deep storytelling and how awesome an RPG could be. And I never actually beat it until I was much later on in life, in high school. So, because it's kind of complicated and esoteric in places, but I love this game, and it there's a lot of memories and good times associated with it. But without further ado, I'll get this rolling and let you watch the opening cinemas, and we'll play through the first level of the game. So we get started making our character here. You don't get to actually make any sort of your own character. You have to play the nameless one in Torment. And you're stuck as a guy, so if you're into playing females, well, you're just out of luck. They use a point buy system here, so there's that. Each statistic is important in its own way. However, because this game is based so strongly on interactions, conversations, and reading and finding unique little things, you're going to end up not really needing your base statistics very much. So contrary to like Baldur's Gate or some of the other RPGs where strength and constitution and dexterity are going to be your mainstay statistics, we won't really need them here. I am going to up dexterity to 13 because, well, I like it that way. Intelligence will be 13. It's good to be a smart guy. We're going to leave strength and constitution where it is. Get a little bit of charisma going. And then we're just going to jack wisdom up to 17. The reason I do that is because wisdom gives you a lot of added conversation options. It also gives you a lot of memories because you don't know who you are, and that cinema is basically all the background you've got coming into this game. And it also gives you an XP bonus, so you level up a little bit faster, which is handy in its own special way. But we'll go ahead and hit accept and get started. And right where the cinema left us off is where we are, and we get up off the mortuary slab.
Hey, Chief. You okay? You playing corpse or you putting the blinds on the dusties? I thought you were a deader for sure.
The way I'm going to do this, I think, is I'm going to try and read through as much of this as possible without it really bogging everything down. So it'll be a little bit like a Let's Play, not like a fully... I'm not going to attempt to read everything. And if what parts of the game are voiced, I'm going to try and shut up so that you can hear it. So we've got some options here to say. I'm going to say, who are you? Me, the skull seems indignant. How about you start, Scabby? Who are you? I don't know, I can't seem to remember. You don't remember? Must have been some night you had. Better hope you didn't hurt anybody. The name's Mort. Hail, well met, and all that wash. He pauses for a moment. Say, I have to ask, are you one of those sensates into self-mutilization, or did somebody give you those scars? Sensates? Don't know what the sensates are. Oh, are you in for a treat? They're this group of bashers who are all about experiencing all the planes have to offer, right? Including, well, forget it for now. What about those scars? Scars? It's like some basher decided to paint you with a knife. You're scarred all over, even on your back, except... He pauses. Say you got a whole tattoo gallery on your back, Burke. Spells out something. What does it say? Looks like directions. Mort clears his throat. Let's see. It starts with, I know you feel like you've been drinking a few kegs of Styx wash, but you need to center yourself. Among your possessions is a journal that'll shed some light on the dark of the matter. Farad can fill you in the rest of the chant if he's not in the dead book already. Don't lose the journal or we'll be up the sticks again, and whatever you do, do not tell anyone who or what happens to you, or they'll put you on a quick pilgrimage to the crematorium. Do what I tell you, read the journal, then find Farad. No wonder my back hurts. Do you know someone named Farad? Or Farad? I don't really know. Nobody I know. Then again, I don't know many people. Still, Sunberg's got to know where to find this guy once we get out of here, that is. Did I have a journal with me when I was lying here? No. You were stripped to the skins when you arrived. Sides. Looks like you got enough of a journal written on your body. How do I get out of here? Well, that is a good question. Sand's running through the glass for you, Chief. The dustmen find you, they'll attempt to correct your resurrection problem by tossing you into the crematorium. If you keep playing dead, you'll go to the crematorium anyway. A Modron's choice, eh? What to do? Dustmen? The Dusties? They watch the place here. You can't miss them. They have an obsession with black and rigor mortis of the face. They call themselves the Dustmen and pretend they're a faction, but they're just an addled bunch of ghoulish death worshippers. Steer clear of them. Why don't you tell me? Sounds like you have an answer already. From where I'm sitting, says Mort, it's obvious you need to get out of here. Me, I can afford to wait. The only danger I'm in is dying of boredom. We could lend each other a hand. Keep talking. It may not look it, but I could help you out of here, and you could help me out of here. I haven't got hands, so I'm in a bit of a quandary, being as he's a floating skull. You're missing what's in your cranium, while I got plenty of experience and know-how to get you out of this dive. We cooperate, and we'll both come out ahead. See the head joke. Deal, Burke. And I will say, deal. I have a bad feeling that fate is destined we travel together, Mort. Fate can go squat on a halberd for all I care. Listen, Chief. Pay attention to how often bad and fate show up in the same sentence, and you'll catch on to one of life's little mysteries. Best thing to do is tell fate to wrap itself in razor vine. There's always another option that fate never lets on. I'll keep that in mind. And what's your big plan? Alright then, now, come on. Let's give this place a laugh. The doors out of here are locked, so we'll need the key. Chances are, one of the walking corpses in this room has it. Walking corpses? Yeah, the mortuary keepers use dead bodies as cheap labor. The corpses are dumb as stones, but they're harmless and won't attack you unless you attack first. So I should attack one of these corpses and loot it for the key. Well, before you do that, arm yourself first. I think there's a scalpel on one of the shelves around here. Alright, I'll look for one. One last thing. Those corpses are as slow as molasses, but getting punched by one of them is like being kissed by a battering ram. If they start getting an edge on you, remember you can run, and they can't. Use it to keep distance if you need to recover. Alright, thanks for the advice. And that's about all the more tutorial that you're gonna get out of this game. So we found some bandages. Not really useful to us. I think this is the table that's got it. A scalpel. Alright, you found the scalpel. Now go get those corpses, and don't worry, I'll stay back and provide valuable tactical advice. Alright. Time to introduce these corpses to the second death, then. Let's go. So we just equip stuff like that, and it shows up in the model, which is pretty cool. And I'm just going to go ahead and kill these zombies, because I have played this game a bit, so... There's nothing to really gain by talking at them. Come on, Mort, help. There we go. Two of the zombies in this room have bandages to pick up, and one of them has the key to get out. So I don't really bother with messing around with them. There we go.
Done. Damn.
I keep missing. That's what you get for having 9 strength. So there we go. Now we'll just pick up our key, and that'll be done. You can also get a lot of reading material from clicking on the different dissected bodies here. Little flavor text. This slab is covered with dry blood and other remains. So we'll use our key, and we will get out of here. Psst, some advice, Chief. I'd keep it quiet from here on. No need to put any more corpses in the dead book than necessary, especially the femmes. Plus, killing them might draw the caretakers here. The corpses here, where did they come from? Death visits the plane every day, Chief. These shamblers are all that's left of the poor sods who sold their bodies to the caretakers after death. Before you said something about making sure I didn't kill any female corpses. Why? What? Are you serious? Look, Chief, these dead chits are the last chance for a couple of hardy bashers like us. We need to be chivalrous, no hacking them up for keys, no lopping their limbs off, things like that. Last chance, what are you talking about? Chief, they're dead, we're dead. See where I'm going? Eh? No, I don't, actually. Chief, we already got an opening line with these limping ladies. We've all died at least once. We'll have something to talk about. They'll appreciate men with our kind of death experience. Wait, didn't you say that I'm not dead? Well, alright, you might not be dead, but I am. And from where I'm standing, I wouldn't mind sharing a coffin with some of these fine, sinewy cadavers I see here. Mort starts clacking his teeth as if in anticipation. Of course, the caretakers would have to part with them first, and that's not likely. Look, Chief, it's obvious you're still a little addled after your kiss with death. So I got 2 bits of advice for you. 1, if you got questions, ask me, alright? Alright, if I have any questions, I'll ask. 2nd, if you're half as forgetful as you seem to be, start writing stuff down. Whenever you come across something that might be important, jot it down so you don't forget. Start a new one. There's plenty of stuff around here so that it gets you your new journal. Alright.
Updated my journal. All right.
Well, you know what? We'll talk to this female corpse. See the way she was looking at me, says Mort? Huh? You see that? That way she was following the curve of my occipital bone? What are you talking about? What, are you blind? She was scouting me out. It was shameless the way she wanted me. I think you and your imagination need some time away from each other. Yeah, whatever. When you've been dead as long as I have, you know the signals. They may be too subtle for you to pick up on, but that's why I'll be spending my nights with some luscious recently dead chit while you're standing around going, huh? What's going on? Where's my memories? Mort's sort of comic relief, if you haven't been able to tell yet. So this conversation explains a concept, the rule of 3. You hear it sometimes in pop culture, even outside of the D&D context, where like 3 celebrities die. There will be 3 celebrity deaths in a row. And this zombie is stuck to walking in circles, basically.
Updated my journal.
And he explains that they're necromancers here, so someone told that zombie to walk about and forgot to tell him to stop, so he's following the rule of 3. That's a logbook. We'll look at that in a little bit. Those fist irons and copper are kind of important. Oh, and we're going to get an encounter. Powers Above. That's one hell of a book. That's the book right there. What is it? If I were to guess, I'd say that's the book where they scratch the name of every poor sod that's unfortunate enough to get dumped off here. Could my name be there? Well, I guess. To find out, you need to rattle your bone box with that floating Dusty over there. I'm not sure that's a good idea. Well, I need answers, so I'll go speak with him. We'll do that in a little bit. I want to loot this stuff first. And talk to the male zombies. The female zombies don't give you anything other than Mort saying funny things. Alright, so this zombie, you notice the corpse is carrying some bandages. Try and take the bandages. You snake your hand out and take the roll of bandages from the corpse's hands. The corpse doesn't even seem to notice. It continues going through the motion of bandaging bodies. So it's a little macabre here, and a little disturbing, but that's the theme of the game. The number 1201 has been inked on the forehead of this corpse, and the ink has run down its eyes, cheeks, and jaw. As you follow the ink, tears tears down the corpse's face. You notice it has run into the stitching. It's tears. God, I'm terrible. Sealing the corpse's lids and is caught on what looks like the corner of a note stuck in the corpse's mouth. Try to pull the note out. The note is mingled with the ichor in the zombie's mouth. If you tried to pull the paper out through the cross stitches, it would tear the paper to shreds. Hacking up the corpse to get it looks like it would destroy the note. You'll need to find a delicate way to remove the stitches before removing the note. Use my scalpel. You deftly slice through the stitches, sealing the corpse's mouth, and the jaw sags open. You carefully pull the note from the corpse's mouth. Despite the condition of the paper, the writing on it still appears legible.
All right.
I think that's... Oh, we got a zombie left in this room to talk to. He's got nothing for us, so we'll leave him in peace. I'm reasonably sure I looted all this stuff, but I'm forgetful. Alright, and we have that logbook to look at.
I'm gone.
The only real flaw in this game, well, or one of them, is the inventory Tetris problem you run into. Because... excuse me, because you end up in this situation where there are certain items that you have to hold on to get special things later in the game, and you never really know what those items are unless you've played it before, so you end up hoarding literally everything you pick up, and you don't have a ton of inventory space. But we'll look at the receiving room logbook. This huge logbook lists mortuary procedures in a tight, crabbed script. And it just tells you more or less what happens to shells, so bodies that they get. They strip them down, and then they figure out what's going on. But, significantly, the following list is thousands of entries of bodies that have been sent to the receiving room. As you flip through the rest of the book, however, you notice the last page has been cut out. And then this is the note that we pulled out of the corpse, and it reads... Please, to whatever dustman reads this, I beg of you, I know my legal obligation under the terms of the dead contract, but I'm prepared to offer more than in my signing fee if you'll cremate my body rather than raising it. I have arranged for this note to be left with my body upon death. If you are reading this, then please use this note as instructed and accept the result in exchange for my contracted duty. Let my contract number serve as the key. And this is the first of several puzzles in the game. It looks like the corpse was too late to prevent the raising, but you notice that beneath the writing is a diagram. It looks like directions for folding the parchment in a strange pattern. So we'll click Use here, and this gets us to a dialogue. There's a series of strange marks on each corner. 1 mark on the upper right, 2 marks on the lower right, 3 marks on the lower left, and no marks on the upper left. Now, if you'll remember from the note, he said that his contract number would be the key. So he's Corpse 1201, which is his contract number. So we just enter the corresponding marks. So we've got 1 mark on the upper right, and then we've got 2 marks on the lower right, so 1, 2, and then the upper left is 0, so get that, and then 1 again. And so this one, it says, as you fold the upper left inwards to the center, you watch as the upper right unfolds by itself, resuming its normal position, so that you can click on it again. Fold the upper right back. As you fold the upper right corner back to the center, the lower left corner mirrors the action until all the corners touch in the center. You watch for a moment and the corners of the paper raise up, turning the note into a small 4-sided paper pyramid. Open the sides of the pyramid. You peel back the sides of the pyramid and the paper disintegrates to dust. Inside is a small triangle-shaped earring. It catches the light and gleams brightly. Take the triangle earring. It's, I would have to identify it, but we're going to put it on anyways to save space. And I'll quick save periodically just to prevent tragedies and to establish a sort of legacy. So this is Dahl here, the book. This book is huge. This scribe looks very old. His skin is wrinkled and has a slight trace of yellow, like old parchment. Charcoal gray eyes lie within an angular face, and a large white beard flows down the front of his robes like a waterfall. His breathing is ragged and irregular, but even his occasional coughing does not slow the scratching of his quill pen. Greetings. Whoa, Chief, what are you doing? I was going to speak with this scribe. He might know something about how I got here. Look, rattling your bone box with Dusty should be the last thing. Before Mort can finish his rant, the scribe begins coughing violently. After a moment or two, the coughing spell dies down. I've had bronchitis, and you can probably still hear it in my voice, so I have a great deal of sympathy for Dahl at this time. And the scribe's breathing resumes its ragged wheeze. And we especially shouldn't be swapping the chant with sick Dusties. Come on, let's leave. The quicker we leave this place, give this place the laughs, the better. Before Mort can finish, the scribe's gray eyes flicker to you. The weight of years hangs heavy upon me, restless one. He places down his quill. But I do not yet count deafness among my ailments. Restless one, do you know me? Know you? There's a trace of bitterness in the scribe's voice. I have never known you, restless one. No more than you have known yourself. He's silent for a moment. For you have forgotten, have you not? Who are you? As always, the question, and the wrong question, as always. He bows slightly for the movement, but the movement suddenly sends him into a bout of coughing. He pauses to catch his breath, am Dahl. That question was but the first, Dahl. There is more I would know. What do you wish to know? What is this place? You're in the mortuary, restless one. Again you have come. Before he can finish, Dahl breaks into a fit of coughing. After a moment, he calms himself and his breathing resumes its ragged wheeze. This is the waiting room for those about to depart the shadow of this life. Tell me about the mortuary. This is where the dead of Sigil are brought to be interred or cremated. It's our responsibility as dustmen to care for the dead, those who've left this shadow of life and walked the path of true death. Dahl's voice drops in concern. Your wounds must have exacted a heavy toll if you don't recognize this place. It is almost your home. Shadow of life? Yes. A shadow, you see, restless one, this life. It's not real. Your life, my life, they're all shadows. Flickerings of what life once was. This life is where we end up after we die. And here we remain, trapped, caged, until we can achieve the true death. True death is non-existence, a state devoid of reason, of sensation, of passion. Dahl coughs, then gives a ragged breath. A state of purity. Sounds like oblivion. Well, would anyone want that? Is it worse than remaining in this shadow of what life once was? I think not. Tell me more about the mortuary. Dustmen? We dustmen are a faction, a gathering of those that recognize the illusion of this life. We await the next life and help others on their journeys. Perhaps you can explain why the dustmen want me dead. Dahl sighs. It is said there are souls who can never attain the true death. Death has forsaken them, and their names shall never be penned in the dead book, which, that's the book he's writing in. To awake from death as you have done suggests you are one of these souls. Your existence is unacceptable to our faction. Unacceptable? That doesn't sound like it leaves me in a good position. You must understand, your existence is a blasphemy to them. Many of our faction would order you cremated if they were aware of your affliction. You're a dustman, but you don't seem to be in favor of killing me. Why not? Because forcing our beliefs upon you is not just. You must give up this shadow of life on your own, not because we force you to. Dal looks about to break into another coughing jag, but he manages to hold it in with some effort. As long as I remain at my post, I will protect your right to search for your own truth. What is your post? I'm a scribe, a cataloger of all the shells that come to the mortuary. Dal coughs again, then takes a deep breath. As long as the stream of corpses flows through the mortuary, I shall remain at my post. You say that I've been here more than once. How is it that the dustmen don't recognize me?
My journal.
I am the one that catalogs the shells that come to our halls, Restless One. Dal breaks into a fit of coughing. Only I see the faces of those that lie upon the slabs. The dark of your existence lies safe with me. Sigil? Sigil is our fair city. Wounds? Yes. The wounds that decorate your body. They look as if they would have sent a lesser man along the path of the true death. Yet it seems as if many of them have healed already. Dal coughs violently for a moment and then steadies himself. But those are only the surface wounds. Only surface wounds? What do you mean? I speak of the wounds of the mind. You have forgotten much, have you not? Mayhap your true wounds run much deeper than the scars that decorate your surface. Dal coughs again. But that is something that only you would know for certain. How did I get here? Dal snorts in contempt, as if he finds the memory repugnant. Your moldy chariot ferried you to the mortuary, Restless One. You would think you were royalty based on the number of loyal subjects that lay stinking and festering upon the cart that carried you. I arrived here on a cart? Yes. Your body was somewhere in the middle of the heap, sharing its fluids with the rest of the mountain of corpses. Dal breaks into another violent fit of coughing, finally catching his breath minutes later. Your seneschal Farad was, as always, pleased to accept a few moldy coppers to dump the lot of you at the mortuary gate. Who is this Farad? He is a collector of the dead. Dal draws a ragged breath and continues. We've such people in our city that scavenge the bodies of those that have walked the path of the true death and bring them to us so that they may be interred properly. Where can I find this Farad? If events persist as they have, Restless One, you will have a much greater chance of Farad finding you and bringing you to us again before you find whatever ooze puddle he wallows in this time. Nevertheless, I must find him. A slight warning creeps into Dal's tone. Do not seek out Farad, Restless One. I am certain that it will simply come full circle again, with you none the wiser and Farad a few coppers richer. Accept death, Restless One. Do not perpetuate your circle of misery. I have to find him. Do you know where he is? Dal's silent for a moment. When he finally speaks, he seems to do so reluctantly. I do not know under which gutter stone Farad lairs at the moment, but I imagine that he can be found somewhere beyond the mortuary gates in the hive. Perhaps someone there will know where you can find him. It doesn't sound like you like Farad much. There are some I respect, Restless One. Farad's not one of them. He wears his ill repute like a badge of honor and takes liberties with the possessions of the dead. He's a knight of the post, cross-trading filth of the lowest sort. Knight of the post is slang for thief. Did Farad take anything from me? Most likely. Are you missing anything, especially anything of value? I'm missing a journal. A journal? Then it's in Farad's hands if it had any value. So we'll just run back through this again. Okay. Can you tell me how to get out of here? The front gate is the most obvious exit, but they'll not let anyone other than dustmen pass. Dahl breaks into a cough and then continues. One of the guides by the front gate has a key to it, but it's unlikely he'll open it for you unless you're extremely persuasive. Do you know who I am?
Updated my journal.
I know scant little of you, Restless One. I know little more of those that have journeyed with you and who now lie in our keeping. I ask that you no longer ask others to join with you, Restless One. Where you walk, so walks misery. Let your burden be your own. There are others who have journeyed with me.
Updated my journal.
Do you not know the woman's corpse interred in the memorial below? I thought that she traveled with you in the past. Dull looks like he's about to start coughing again. Am I mistaken? Where's her body? The Northwest Memorial Hall on the floor below us. Check the buyers there. Her name should be one of the memorial plaques. Mayhap that will revive your memory. I don't know. I don't recall traveling with a woman. He simply stares at you. Da-da-da. You said there were others. Doubtless there are. And few have survived. What do you do here? I think... Alright, we've already asked that. I had some other questions. You sound ill, are you not well? I am close now to the true death, Restless One. It will not be long before I pass beyond the eternal boundary and find the peace I have been seeking. I tire of this mortal sphere. The plains hold no more wonders for one such as I. The eternal boundary, the boundary between the shadow of this life and the true death. So we'll go back through that and learn a little more. There might be some way I can help you. I do not wish to live forever, nor live again, Restless One. I could not bear it. So be it. Farewell, Dahl. As you turn to leave, Dahl speaks. Know this. I do not envy you, Restless One. To be reborn as you would be a curse that I could not bear. You must come to terms with it at some point. Your path will return you here. Dahl coughs, the sound rattling in his throat. It's the way of all things, flesh and bone. Then perhaps we'll meet again, Dahl. Now, a little bit of a spoiler, as you see the text appearing above Dahl that he's coughing. You can actually kill Dahl and take his quill away from him, but I like Dahl. He's a neat guy. And also a cool thing about this game is when you meet people, you get a little picture of them. So there's a picture of us, or me, and there's a little picture of Mart, the floating skull, and some zombies, and Dahl. And you can see his beard is quite long, and there's his quill pen in the dead book. Okay, and we're ready to move on out of this area now. Oh, that guy, he is a victim of Fallout.
Done.
And there's another zombie here. 1664. He has a pile of books. Examine the books. We're going to take the page from him. Read through it. Alright, take the page with you and leave. Okay, now the important entry here is the scar de shell, right? They've told us numerous times already that this character is very scarred up. Cause of death. Indeterminable. Scars do not appear to be the cause of death. Shock, trauma, collector. Farad. 3 commons paid. Possessions logged. Fist irons, 13 commons, middle table, receiving room. So I already got that. And you also see a little bit of foreshadowing here, because Farad's corpses are stripped, and they have knife marks that lead you, the guys, to believe that it's already been dissected.
Done.
The corpse, that is. And also, I should point out, This game's backgrounds were hand drawn. Like, look at these intricate designs on the floor. The part of what made this game so special is you can tell it was legitimately cared for. Just gonna run around and loot stuff.
Done. All right. I'm gone.
And that's about exhausted all our goodies.
Done.
No goodies there.
I'm gone. All right.
That's a mummy.
Gone.
We'll talk to these zombies and see if they have any stuff for us. Oh, this corpse can't stand up, so we're going to try to help him keep his balance, but he's going to fall down and squash himself all over the floor. And I'm going to loot him, and you can pick up his severed arm and use it as a club. Keep our scalpel out for now. And this one has crazy eyes.
I'm gone.
And this one has stitches in it. So we're going to cut the stitches out. And it reveals that he has a different designation, but that doesn't really play into anything. You also see like some toilet paper there. That's the bandages. Iveen. You see a slight young woman with pale features. The sunken flesh around her cheeks and neck make her appear as if she is starving. She seems intent on dissecting the corpse in front of her, prodding the chest with a finger. If you try to talk to her, she doesn't respond. As you watch her work, you suddenly notice her hands. Her fingers are talons. They're darting in and out of the corpse's chest cavity like knives removing organs. What's wrong with your hands? The woman makes no response. She's a tiefling, Chief. They got fiend blood in their veins. Usually because some ancestor of theirs shared knickers with one demon or another. Makes some of them oddled in the head. And oddled looking, too. Tap the woman and get her attention. The woman jumps and whips around to face you. Her eyes are rotting yellow, with small orange dots for pupils. As she sees you, her expression changes from surprise to irritation, and she frowns at you. Greetings? She doesn't seem to have heard you. She leans forward, and she can't quite make you out. Whatever's wrong with her eyes must make her terribly nearsighted. You, she clacks her taloned fingers together, then makes a strange motion with her hands. Find thread and embalming juice. Bring here to Iveen. Go, go, go.
Updated my journal.
So now we'll try and find some embalming fluid and go back to her.
Done. I'm gone.
Luckily I know where that is. We'll ignore that zombie for now. And we'll just loot through these to try and find some fluid. I think it's here. Yep, there we are.
All right. Locked.
I'm gonna have Mort bash this. I think he can get it open.
Sure, why not? Opened.
And that nets us an earring with some design on it. But we can't do anything with it.
Done.
But we have our embalming fluid.
I'm gone.
Now we'll go back to Iveen. Watch her and study the motions of her hands. As you study the motion of Iveen's hands, you feel a prickling along your scalp, and then suddenly you find your vision swimming, blurring until You're standing in front of a freshly slain corpse, rigor mortis making a mockery of its smile. The number 42 has been stitched into its scalp. The zombie is lying on a slab, and you've just finished stitching up its chest. You've placed something inside, something that may prove useful if you come this way again. An echo, keep these things safe and wait for my return. The memory of your voice is an echo, strange and hollow to your ears. You cross your arms in front of your chest, and to your surprise, the corpse does too. After a moment, its hands fall back to its side, and as it does, the vision fades, until you are watching Ivine's hands make their stitching motions once more. Tap her and get her attention. Give her the thread and embalming fluid. Without missing a beat, Ivine snaps the thread from your hands, hooks it around one of her talons, and begins sewing the corpse's chest. She takes the embalming fluid and begins to apply it to the corpse. Wait. Within minutes, she's finished. She clicks her talons and turns to face you. To your surprise, she extends her hand and drags her talons along your arms and chest. Keep playing zombie. Looks like you have a new friend, Chief. You two need some time together, or keep playing zombie. As she traces your arms and chest, you suddenly notice she seems to be examining your scars. She withdraws her talons, clicks them twice, and then bends forward and examines some of the tattoos on your chest. Humph. Who write on you? Hivers do that? No respect for zombies. Zombies, not paintings. She sniffs, then pokes one of your scars. This one, bad shape, many scars, no preserves. Her talons suddenly hook into the thread you brought her, and lightning-like, she jabs another talon into the skin near one of your scars. It feels barely more than a pinprick, but it looks like she's about to start stitching you up. Let her work. Max HP increased by 1. The sensation is curiously painless, as Ivine begins to stitch up your scars. When she is done, she sniffs you, frowns, stabs her fingers into the embalming fluid. Within minutes, she's dabbed your body with the fluid, and strangely enough, it makes you feel better. This may be the second time in my life I'm thankful I don't have a nose. Ivine puts the last touches on your body, gives you another sniff, nods, and makes the shooing motions with her talons. Done. Go, go.
Done. I'm gone.
And now I'll talk to this zombie. The shambling corpse gazes at you with vacant eyes. The number 821 is carved into its forehead, and his lips have been stitched closed. So, seen anything interesting? As you address the zombie, it blinks. Oh, what? Why are you disguised as a corpse? The zombie is trying to respond behind stitched lips. He has a particular half-frightened, half-angry expression. Who you? What you want? Why, I was looking for you. Looking for me? Why? He squints at you. You got a message for me? Yes, I have a message for you. What message? I have your new orders. He narrows his eyes like he's trying to figure out. What orders? I'm here to relieve you. Give me all the information you've gathered, all your possessions, and leave.
Updated my journal.
The zombie looks disappointed, but he shrugs and begins to fish deeply in his stained tunic. Been quiet. Dusty's been quiet. Another news since last report. After a few moments, he hands some items and grunts. Here. Judging by the smell, they must have been hidden so as to avoid turning up if he was searched. Me leave in a short while. Leave? How? The zombie nods. You want out? You go to arch on the first floor. Nearest room. You need a finger bone. Shape of crook. He holds his index finger and bends it into a crook. When you have a key, go to arch, check the secret crypt, and can escape from there. Secret escape route. He nods eagerly. You can rest there. Crooked finger bone. Where am I going to find one of those? He shrugs. Must be one around here somewhere. Look in storage rooms and over 4, maybe there. Alright, I had other questions. Do you know someone named Farad? Farad. The zombie briefly and thought, me here, he live in Hive somewhere. He shakes his head. Not know where. Dusty is very mad. They not like Farad. Why don't they like him? He's a collector. Brings debtors to mortuary. Sells them to Dustin. Brings lots of debtors. Dusty's not know where he gets debtors. Thinks he's putting Burks in the dead book. What? He's saying that this Farad Burke has been selling a lot of debtors, corpses, to the dustmen. That's what collectors do. They gather dead bodies and sell them to the dustmen. Sounds like Farad's been selling so many debtors that the Dusty thinks he's been putting hivers in the dead book before their hour's up, you know, killing people. I'm missing a journal. Have you seen it? Don't know. Some Burke peel you? What? He wants to know if somebody robbed you. Probably what happened. Can you tell me about Doll, Scribe, Old, Yellow? How did you get to look like that? Me good at disguise. Me also got scars. Me wore lots of embalming fluid. Me make good zombie. And the zombie giggles through his stitched lips and taps his head. Dusty stupid. Yeah, they're the stupid ones, all right. The sarcasm is evidently lost on the zombie, who nods eagerly. Stupid Dusties, me make good zombie. Doesn't that hurt? He looks at your scars. I ask you same question. Me not hurt much. Me tough. Can you disguise me as a zombie? He looks you up and down for a few moments, mumbling to himself, and then nods. Uh-huh. Me need jar of embalming fluid. Points at the scars on your chest. And some needle and thread. Here you go. The zombie takes the items from you and sets to work. I can't believe you're going through with this. How barmy are you? Pretty barmy, I suppose. The zombie liberally applies the embalming fluid to your body and stitches up several of your scars. Working from your feet upwards, he stitches up your scars and finishes off the disguise by stitching your lips. Thanks. Can't you make the stitches on his lips tighter? Shorter more. The zombie holds up his hand. Curvel. Talk pull stitches out, ruin disguise. Zombie, no talk. You got that? Talk slow. Curvel. I understand.
Updated my journal.
The zombie frowns. Disguise won't last long. Embalming fluid dry up. Stitches hold out. He shrugs. Probably not last outside mortuary. And no running. You run, you ruin whole disguise. Nod and leave. So as you can see, our appearance has changed, and if we go to our stats screen, we're a zombie now. And when we walk, we shamble about like a zombie. But we're not going to actually use the disguise.
All right.
And that's all for now on the first floor of the mortuary. So I hope you had as much fun as I've had so far, and next time we'll be wandering up here to the second floor. Oh yeah.